The conflict resulting from Russia's illegal invasion into Ukraine has been going on for over 2 years now, with devastating effects felt right across the world. And for those 2 years, Australia has stood with Ukraine, and along with other countries, the Australian government itself has imposed more than 1,200 sanctions. But that's not all Australia has done to support Ukraine, and so today I want to take a quick look at the military aid that we have delivered so far. What was it? How much is it worth? And is it making a difference? I'm Mel Pikos, and today we're talking tactics. Before we get started, I'm going to do that annoying thing that all YouTubers do and ask for you to subscribe. I've got some cracking videos planned for the new year, and so to see them first, you have to hit that like and subscribe button. Only about 8% of you watching are actually subscribed, and I'd love to get that number up to 10%. It really helps me out as well, so if you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing. The invasion begins. Russia invaded Ukraine on the 24th of February 2022. Immediately, Australia condemned the move and called it illegal, saying it has no validity under international law. Australians in Ukraine were directed to leave the country as soon as they could, and along with key partners from around the world, the Australian government prepared to impose sanctions on Russia and Russian companies and people. Australia had already imposed sanctions on Russia in 2014 around its annexation of Crimea. These were extended in 2015 and then in 2022 in relation to this new invasion. The sanctions were extended again in 2023. The sanctions include various export bans, asset freezes, and travel bans for numerous Russian individuals and companies. And by late 2023, Russia had become the most sanctioned country in the world. And with President Trump now sworn in, he is threatening further sanctions in order to force Russia to end the conflict, with Australia likely to follow suit. The purpose of the sanctions are to make life more difficult for Russia and to push them towards ending the conflict. And while that's a diplomatic way to attempt to end a conflict, obviously the Ukrainians are defending themselves, and Australia has been there to help too. Military assistance package. On the 30th of March 2022, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed the Australian Parliament and requested help, specifically citing the Bushmaster armoured personnel carriers, which could help Ukraine substantially. And following that, Australia's first assistance package included Bushmaster protected military vehicles, M777 howitzers, M113AS4 armoured personnel carriers, anti-armour weapons, ammunition, unmanned aerial systems, and a range of personal equipment. This package was over $285 million worth of gear. Another package announced in July 2022 was worth $100 million and included 20 more Bushmaster protected military vehicles, bringing the total of these up to 60. More M113 armoured personnel carriers, bringing the total donated up to 28. Demining equipment to help remove mines from the battlefield. A donation to NATO's Ukraine Comprehensive Assistance Package Trust Fund. And another $7 million for the purchase of defence tech and equipment from Australian suppliers. In October, more aid was announced, including 30 more Bushmasters, plus a deployment of up to 70 ADF personnel for Operation Kudu, which is part of the United Kingdom's Operation Interflex. This is a multinational military operation led by the UK to train and support armed forces of Ukraine. In February 2023, 1 year since the conflict began, Australia announced more unmanned aerial systems would be delivered to Ukraine, and the first round of 200 Ukrainian soldiers graduated from Operation Kudu. In June 2023, a $110 million assistance package was announced containing 70 military vehicles, 28 M113 armoured vehicles, 14 special operations vehicles, 28 Rheinmetall 40M medium trucks, 14 trailers, a supply of 105mm artillery ammunition, and $10 million to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs to help meet needs for shelter, health services, clean water, and sanitation. Australia also extended its duty-free access for goods imported from Ukraine to support its recovery and trade opportunities. Following that announcement came the news that an RAAF E-7A Wedgetail aircraft would be deployed to Germany for approximately 6 months to help protect a vital gateway of international humanitarian and military assistance to Ukraine. This would also include up to 100 crew and support personnel, but that plane and its operators would not enter into Ukraine nor be involved in the conflict. Then in July, another 30 Bushmaster vehicles were donated, bringing the total of these given to Ukraine of 120. In October, another $20 million package was donated, including more demining equipment, portable X-ray machines, a 3D metal printer, and counter-drone systems. 3D metal printers can be used to print spare parts, while demining and portable X-ray equipment can provide life-saving assistance for Ukrainian personnel on the battlefield. This equipment was developed by 4 innovative Australian defence industry companies: Drone Shield, MicroX, MineLab, and SPE3D. In December 2023, Operation Kudu was expanded. The ADF's training program for Ukrainian recruits would now increase to 90 ADF personnel involved in the training, and training areas expanded to include urban and trench warfare, combat first aid, explosive hazard awareness, and marksmanship. Also in December, Ukraine made an official request for Australia's fleet of retired MRH-90 Taipan helicopters. These helicopters were originally meant to be retired in 2037, but the decision was made to retire them early due to a history of problems leading to fleet-wide groundings over the years, plus the high-profile crash during an ADF training exercise, which did kill 4 servicemen, unfortunately. Defence Industry Minister Pat Conroy said there are no Taipans that are currently in flying condition. The whole fleet is to be dismantled, sold for spare parts, and the leftovers buried. In February 2024, just before the 2nd anniversary of Russia's invasion, Australia provided a $50 million grant to the International Fund for Ukraine, which would directly support the procurement of priority military capabilities. In April 2024, a $100 million assistance package was announced, which included $30 million towards unmanned aerial systems, $15 million towards equipment such as combat helmets, rigid hull inflatable boats, boots, fire masks, and generators, $50 million for short-range air defence systems, the delivery of air-to-ground precision munitions. In July 2024, Australia announced its largest military assistance package to Ukraine. It included air defence missiles, air-to-ground weapons including guided weapons, anti-tank weapons, artillery, mortar, cannon and small arms ammunitions, and a shipment of boots. In October 2024, Australia announced that it would be gifting 49 of its M1A1 Abrams main battle tanks to Ukraine. Australia is replacing its aging battle tanks with the M1A2 SEP V3 battle tanks, so can donate these to Ukraine. This is valued at approximately $245 million. You can watch my video on these tanks up here. This was then followed up with a donation of 14 rigid-hulled boats valued at $14 million in order to bolster Ukraine's maritime and coastal defence. This brings Australia's total military assistance to more than $1.3 billion since the start of the Russian invasion, and Australia's overall support to Ukraine to more than $1.5 billion. But is it going to be enough? Early on, Ukraine appeared to be the smaller force, and many assumed Russia would easily knock them over, but Ukraine defied expectations and fought back, retaking lost ground, even pushing into Russia itself in some areas. And Australia is not the only country giving military or humanitarian or financial aid. By March 2024, more than $380 billion worth of aid had been donated, mostly by Western countries. The United States has donated the most military aid, and European countries have donated the most overall aid, but due to fears of escalation, NATO states have held back heavier weapons donations and placed restrictions on the use of some of the weapons, such as not allowing Ukraine to use them to strike targets inside Russia. Some of these restrictions have been lifted now, with US-supplied missiles being allowed to strike deeper inside Russia. And now, with President Donald Trump sworn in, he has outlined a strategy to end the war by urging Russian President Vladimir Putin to negotiate a peace agreement, warning of more severe economic consequences, including ramping up sanctions if Russia fails to comply. Trump's advisors have proposed a plan that includes a ceasefire along current front lines, postponement of Ukraine's NATO membership ambitions, and continued US arms supplies to Ukraine, contingent upon engagement in peace talks. In my opinion, if we are considering Australia and the USA's strategic interests, the war in Ukraine has been beneficial. We've had an active war zone to test modern military equipment, had the ability to dispose of aging military technologies and equipment and assets in favour of reinvesting into superior systems, and we have significantly weakened Russia's ability to project power. The war has also exposed fractures between Russia and China, reducing the risk of conflict escalating to a larger conflict. I think it's also given China time to pause and think. If Russia can't dominate a smaller rival they share a land border with, then perhaps China invading Taiwan over the Taiwan Strait may not be as easy as they think. But what do you think? Should Australia be supporting other countries in conflicts with equipment, vehicles, and money? Should we have donated the Taipan helicopters instead of burying them? Or would it be better to invest more money in our own defence and protect our regional security? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section down below. If you got some value out of this video, I'd appreciate if you'd hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my next video. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Mel Pikos, and we've been talking tactics.